Hi everyone, I'm Rosemary Miller and we are backstage at the Forbes BLK Summit and I have the pleasure of speaking with Kenya Russell, the founder and CEO of Sensory Studios. Thank you so much for joining me today, Kenya.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So Kenya, could you tell me a little bit about your company?
Sensory Studios is a creative production company that specializes in building community through the arts. So we build everything from set installations to experiential brand activations, and we also facilitate programming. So that's another vertical that we have, just a community outreach initiative called Intervision Academy. And what we do at Intervision Academy is we really focus on going into communities that are marginalized, traditionally underserved, and equipping young people with the skills that they need to transition themselves into either a higher education, pursuing the arts, or some type of creative entrepreneurship role. So right now, we're piloting our program for the first time ever in Los Angeles, and we are planning to, we're currently in a middle school, but also 2 juvenile correction facilities. And we're going in and we're teaching visual arts, skill development, emotional intelligence, utilizing art therapy. So we're allowing this to help them, one, create a portfolio of work that would allow them access if they were to pursue art school, but we're also teaching them how to use their skill set to build foundations for themselves, especially with the anti-recidivism within the juvenile correction.
Kenya, how did you even come up with this idea for this company?
Actually, I was inspired by one of my mentees.
Yeah.
One of my mentees, he's really dear to me, a 13-year-old prodigy artist, and he was challenged by having access to art spaces and equipment and studios, and we all know how much of a burden that is for creatives, especially creatives of color. And so trying to really just plant those seeds with young people. He's 13, so I wanted naturally to pursue this with a younger group of children that are really coming into their individuality, figuring out what their hobbies are going to be, how they're going to utilize their skill sets, and present them with an alternative to what they're being currently presented through the culture and the mainstream media.
Yeah. So what was the process like of having your company implemented into a middle school and to 2, did you tell me, juvenile centers? Yeah. What was that process like?
It was actually really fast. So I work with 2 different organizations. They're nonprofit, Pulse Arts and the Center for the Empowerment of Families. So we partner with them to go into these facilities and these spaces and I created a curriculum. So this curriculum allows for the entire program to have initiatives where we're working with other living artists as teachers and teaching them even how to utilize teaching as a way to monetize and build a foundation for their art practice. So we're targeting multiple different audiences here, but in different ways, and hopefully building community and inspiring at least one student is my goal, to inspire someone to pursue creative entrepreneurship.
Yeah. That's really beautiful what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Yeah. Well, did you always know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or did you have other plans initially?
Yes, I definitely knew I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I started my first company in 2019 after I graduated college. It is Southern Made Creatives. It's a platform that I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama. So I went to the University of Alabama and I was a studio art, public relations double major. So when I graduated, I found out through the hard way that there were no communities that were really targeting creatives of color, and so I built one, and I tried to build it in a way that would be something that I actually wanted to be a part of. And so with this, we built our program, our platform, and we started producing art shows, concerts, and we created a space for Black creatives to come and exemplify their small business and their art and to connect with each other.
So what sacrifices did you have to make while you were building this company?
Yeah, so lots of stability. I didn't pursue a traditional 9-to-5 at first, so it was kind of hard in terms of figuring out if this was something I really wanted to do, is it really going to be sustainable long term? And so I ended up working as a marketing manager for a tech startup, and that's where I was able to really just start seeing things in a different way, figure out how startups really operated, and figuring out also just what I needed to do. I'm currently in school now getting my MBA at USC in social entrepreneurship, so I'm really excited to continue my journey of learning so that I can go back into the communities that mean a lot to me, which are marginalized communities and create an impact there.
So you have mentees.
Yes.
Who are some of your mentors?
Melva Benoit is a big one for me. She is amazing. She's a gallerist, and we actually met when I moved to LA. So that relationship has been really influential for the way that I've been able to navigate the art space, because she's so knowledgeable and just exemplifies what a woman of integrity is. So,
Kenya, I'm so sorry. You are phenomenal.
thank you so much.
Thank you for doing this interview.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.